There we are. We are live. Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, our viewers. Welcome, our people on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are, all over the world. We just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you're on the live call, if you're watching the replay, thank you so much. This is an amazing, important call over here because we've been trying to get this call for like a month already. We couldn't figure it out, and we finally put it all together. When we started doing these interviews, let's go back to when we started doing these interviews. You were the first person that we wanted on first, and we saved the best for last. I guess that's how it worked out. So we're excited to have Darren Little on this call. We are super excited. He is one of our millionaire mentors. We actually have three guys, but he is the founder, creator of Black Ops Underground Marketing, and we are so proud to be part of it. So welcome, Darren.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to be here. Great to be here. Pretty excited for you guys.
Excited. We're super excited. We got some questions for you. We know who you are, but our viewers don't know who you are. Some of them do, some of them don't. So you want to start off with sharing, where you're from, where did you grow up, and where do you live?
Sure. Well, actually, I was born in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and we moved to Vancouver when I was about 4 years old. Been here ever since. And I got into marketing actually when I was in my 20s and started actually in graphics and visual design, and then moved into launching my own advertising agency. And then I started getting into personal development right around the age of 22. And that's actually what our industry is about, just so you know. It's really about personal development. And that was really when I met my first millionaire mentor, was in my early 20s. And that totally changed my life forever. So, if it hadn't been for my own millionaire mentors, I wouldn't have been able to do any of the things that I've been able to do, and coach and train other people to teach them all the things that I know, not only about personal development and leadership, but marketing skills, how to become the attractor factor, generate unlimited leads, and how to be able to get your team into explosive team duplication.
Hey, Darren, so first I have a question for you. So you said you found around 22, you found your millionaire mentor. From an early age, I've been looking for a millionaire mentor. Now, finally, this year, I found, late last year, I found you. You're my first millionaire mentor. So when you found your millionaire mentor, can you tell us about that experience? Like, how'd that go down?
How did you meet your millionaire mentor?
It's kind of funny how this actually happened, because I was at a Chinese restaurant, and I was in line. I was in line up, and I at that time, I typically dressed really sharp. I always wore a blazer and a shirt and slacks and whatnot. And he came walking in the door, and the guy had like on a $5,000 suit and a Rolex watch, and his shoes were shiny, and he was very personable. He was very good at building rapport very quickly and changing people's state. He could get people to laugh really well. So he kind of joked about something in the place, or something about the weather. I can't remember what it really was. And he said, "So what exactly do you do around here?" And I said, "Well, I actually just work in the this complex right here." He goes, "Oh, really? We actually just have an office here." So we started talking about this top secret technology that he had, and some patents that they had on this technology. And as soon as I heard the word patents and technology, I was like, whoa, I was like leaning forward. So he asked me to come up to his office and check out what he had. And I went up there, and they actually had these positively charged oil molecules that would stick to metal. So the engine could completely run dry with no oil in it, and the engine wouldn't overheat. It would just keep on running. And it was military type of technology, and they had the same technology for gas, for transmissions, and they had puncture-proof tires as well. So, he really piqued my curiosity. I wanted to find out more about what they were doing, and so he sat me down in his office and he said, Darren, you want to become a millionaire? And I said, absolutely, I do. So he said, how serious are you about that on a scale from 1 to 10? I said, I'm 100, right? So he started to really explain about what it is that he did. And he told me that if I wanted to ever make $1 million and higher, that there was 2 things that I would have to be able to implement. The first one was that I wasn't allowed to talk about the company. And the second one was I wasn't allowed to talk about the products. Now, coming from, a features and benefits driven industry that I was in, I thought, like, how's that even possible? Like, how could you sell this without talking about this? How is it possible to sell this without talking about the company that manufactured it? And I had to completely be retrained on understanding the power of what networking really is. And it's really about connecting with people and finding out more about what's going on in their life. It has nothing to do with your companies and products. And really finding out more about if they have any pain going on in their life and whether or not they're living their passion. And it was from that, from learning those skills from him, that I actually went on to make my first $1 million when I turned 35, and then go on to make multiple millions of dollars after that, and use the same strategies to raise tens of millions of dollars in venture capital. So I'm very grateful that I met him. Very grateful for some of my other mentors, Tony Robbins, Dr. Lee Poulos, and Dr. Dov Baron. They were all instrumental in stuff that I learned. And also David Moses, who was, he's made about $18 million in the network marketing industry. So they were all very instrumental. But my first millionaire mentor was a gentleman by the name of Harvey Connor.
Okay. And do you think without meeting Harvey and all these other wonderful mentors you had over the years that you would have been able to reach the level of success that you have reached on your own? Not
a chance. Absolutely not a chance.
And I know that you shared the story that your millionaire mentor told you, you want to be a mentor from 1 to 10, you told him 100. I know that there's a story where he says, you need this amount of money, come to me. Can you share a little bit about, how that went down? Because, we get that all the time. So I would love for you to share that.
Well, he said, Darren, how serious are you about that? And I said, well, I'm 100. And he goes, well, if you want to work with me, it's going to cost you $4,000. Well, 30 years ago, that's like probably $15,000 today. And he basically told me that I had 3 days to come up with the money. Well, I didn't have the money. Right? I didn't have, that'd be like trying to raise $15,000 in 3 days today. I didn't have that type of money. I probably had about $1,500 myself in my personal savings account. So I drained my bank account. I took a loan up from my parents plus a loan from the bank in order to work with them. But when I was in his office, he basically, these were the words he said to me. He looked at me in the eye and he says, Darren, here's what I'm going to share with you. If you're not prepared to surrender your pride and surrender your ego and go get the money, you're never going to make it in this industry anyway. And I only work with winners. And he turned around and he walked back to his office and he shut the door.
How did you feel?
I had this kind of like burning, pissed off feeling in my stomach because, I knew that I might not never get another chance. It's not like I had a lineup of millionaire mentors that I could go talk to. And, I really felt that it was a do or die. It was either I was going to go find that money or I might not ever get another chance to work directly with a millionaire mentor. So, I did it. Did I have the money? No. But I went all in on my dream, like all in. I used every penny that I had to be able to work with him. And I can tell you that when you're a little young whippersnapper and you're, I was good at the features and benefits model. And when you're good and your ego is a little bit inflated, It took me a lot to surrender my pride and my ego and go to my parents and ask them for money. It's true story.
Yeah, it's definitely tough, you know, when you have to kind of surrender your ego. I experienced that lately. So, Darren, let me ask you another question. Like, now, what made you want to come up with, how'd you come up with this whole Black Ops underground marketing concept that has helped out so many of us?
A little over 1,300 people now.
Basically, what I found is that most successful marketers, when they get to a certain point, they use their income story to recruit people, but they don't actually teach them what goes on behind the scenes. You know, how is the money actually made? What are the actual strategies? How much do you have to spend in advertising? How many leads get generated? How many people convert? How many people upsell? You know, what is the actual strategy of marketing that goes in to be able to get to those big numbers? So every time that I roll something out, I always do what's called test marketing first, because it's the market that will tell you whether or not you have an opportunity or not. Okay, a lot of people get into companies and they're excited about their company, so they think it's the best product in the world. It doesn't work that way. You have to find out the pulse on the industry first. And major corporations, they do stuff called focus groups. So when they pick a name of a product, or they pick the packaging of the product that they're going to go with, they pick their company slogan, they do a focus group, and they get a bunch of people that are their target market together, and then they ask those people, you know, which name do you like? Which package do you like? Which slogan do you like? It's not about what the company thinks is going to work. It's what the consumer is going to buy. So I did a little test. And I basically asked the people. That's really how this started. I was working on a campaign, and I said, you know, hey, everyone, I'm just about to roll out a campaign. Who here would be interested in finding out exactly what the campaign is, what my copy is that I write, how many conversions do I get off my traffic, and then how many people buy, upsell, and then what sort of team duplication do I get? And the post just went like, you know, it went crazy. The amount of response and the amount of people that inquired, you know, I knew that there was something definitely there that was you know, a demand. So I started to take people behind the scenes a lot more to show them how I actually got the results that I got. But what happened in the sort of evolution of that, you know, when you're thinking about concepts and you're doing testing, what people don't understand is that the moment that you're thinking something, you put it out into the ether. And it was actually two of my students that started doing this concept in a packaged way, in a branded way, where they were, you know, putting people in a group, they were writing all the copy, doing all the emails, providing all the campaigns for everybody. But what I did from my testing is I had already done a campaign that tested Black Ops, and it was a huge success. So I already had all of the test marketing already done for that. So I had already tested the brand. I'd already tested the concept. They actually rolled out the concept before I did under a different name. But what I did was I took all of the stuff that I had learned from 30 years of being in this industry. This is stuff that I had already launched, you know, years and years ago, that had already had success. So, you know, what people don't realize is that anytime a seven-figure income earner rolls out a campaign, especially if they just join a company, if this is the company over here, they have some sort of a wrapper over here, right? And it's this thing that becomes the attractor factor. This thing over here is what solves the pain of the marketplace. So where other people, they'll get in a company and they just promote the name of the company, the majority of the time, not all the time, but the majority of the time, the successful people, the seven-figure income earners, they typically create some sort of a wrapper, right? And that was Black Ops, okay? So Black Ops isn't actually a company. Black Ops is a brand, and we created a culture around the brand. We created training around the brand, but it's completely generic. You know, somebody could be marketing weight loss, skincare, nutraceuticals, energy drinks, power, legal. It doesn't matter what their primary business is. Black Ops is where they're going to get their core training from on really how to become a top recruiter in anything, and how to generate unlimited leads, how to build a list of qualified prospects, and how to step into leadership. That's Black Ops. Now, what they market on the back end is totally up to them. They can have multiple streams of income, which a lot of the people in Black Ops actually do.
Right on. And so, you know, can you go over and maybe share with some of the people that are watching this? You know, I get this a lot myself. Now, you know, our industry is online. You know, we deal with a lot of home-based business owners, which are, some are network marketers, some are into affiliate marketing and other forms of home-based business. Would you shed a little bit of light of the difference between the network marketing industry versus the online, like, affiliate marketing industry?
Sure. You know, one of the biggest challenges that people have in network marketing is that they've never been taught how to do the business model, for starters. Networking is very, very casual. You know, it takes multiple connections, multiple exposures in order to enroll somebody into your business. And typically when people get excited about something, they kind of like verbally vomit all over their prospect. Oh man, I'm telling you, you got to get in this. You'd be so good at this. I'm telling you, we're going to make a fortune, right? And that's not our industry. It's not how it's done. You know, networking is very casual, right? And it's a process, and it typically takes between 5 and 12 connections or exposures to enroll somebody into a business, okay? Now, in the conventional network marketing business model, the attrition rate is between 10 to 15% per month, okay? So if you even take it on the low side, even if you were to recruit 100 people in the first month, by the end of the first year, you'd be lucky if there's 10 left that are still paying the auto ship. So there's a huge amount of attrition factor in the industry, and most people never get up to the type of team numbers that you really need in order to become a millionaire, okay? So if you want to make $1 million in network marketing, you basically need a small country of people. Now, in affiliate marketing, you know, although there are lower ticket products, when you're paying for a $1,000 product, as an example, and you're getting all of that money for yourself, you don't need a lot of people, you know. So for me to make $100,000 in the network marketing industry, I probably need about 10,000 people or more to be able to make that type of an income. But in affiliate marketing, to make 10,000 a month, you know, I could do it with a team of 10 or 11 people, right? So it's a big difference between the size of team that you need here in network marketing and the size of team that you need in affiliate marketing. It's like dramatic, right? So if a person can't recruit a team of 10, how the heck are they ever going to be able to build a team of 10,000?
Right.
That is right there on the spot. I totally, you know, can relate with that because, you know, I also came from the network marketing world, and, you know, we had to recruit a lot of people to make, you know, a portion of the money. And I love the affiliate marketing world, especially if you find a product that pays 100% commissions, like the Genesis library that we have. I think that, you know, it's just What?
Awesome.
Is it smarter? I don't know. Get
work
with
smarter instead of harder, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
And you get to learn. And you know, when you was talking about the Black Ops, I wanted to also share that that's kind of how we see Black Ops. We see Black Ops as the foundation of everything else, of every other business. When people ask us, is that just a company? We're like, no, you know, it's the foundation to learn the skills to be able to go out there and build anything you want to build. And that's what I see Black Ops for. Okay, so next question for you, Darren. If you could go back in history and talk to one person that is not alive, who would that person be and why?
I think it would probably be Napoleon Hill from Think and Grow Rich. He really understood the concepts of wealth creation. And, you know, if somebody reads that book, Think and Grow Rich, numerous times over and over and over, their whole life will change. And, you know, they're basic principles, but you need the basic principles in order to springboard to the next level in business and in life. And it's the same thing with Black Ops, right? It's very, very kind of a similar type of thing. I don't believe that somebody can be a successful network marketer, direct sales, MLM, affiliate marketer, online marketer, unless they understand the basics. And you certainly can't go from nothing to riches unless you have the basics of wealth creation. And Napoleon Hill really was that person for me anyway. I mean, Think and Grow Rich book is something that I believe can transform anybody's life if they apply those strategies. And, you know, that would be great to actually meet him in person, right?
All right. Yeah, I would love to too.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. All right. So I have another question for you. This is probably a question that every person that has never had access to millions of dollars probably wants to know, right? It's a two-part question. One, is it possible to reach a level of success in the millions without changing? And can money truly buy you happiness?
A person cannot get to that level without changing. That's 100%. Your net worth can never exceed your self-worth. So you have to work on your inner game to affect your outer game. So what people don't realize about going to the higher level. So imagine that you have a temperature gauge that you put on in your home, okay? And when it reaches a certain point, boom, the air conditioner kicks in to bring it back down to a certain level, sort of what's called the comfort zone. So unless a person expands their thinking, expands their deservability and worthiness, it's not even possible to go to the next level because they don't feel worthy, they don't feel deserving, they don't love themselves, and they're actually addicted to their suffering, right? So you have to move into a state of self-love first in order to open up the gateway to the abundance flow, okay? So a lot of that requires personal development. You know, you got to feel worthy, you got to feel deserving, you got to know that abundance is your birthright. You have to feel that there's not enough money in the world that can pay you for your worth, right? And that's an evolution. Okay, now here's the challenge that people have, is that they're battling the human condition, right? They're battling this deservability and worthiness as they're going through to advance. And then in addition to that, they've got self-sabotage that's involved as well. And Napoleon Hill actually wrote an entire chapter on self-sabotage. So that's one of the reasons why I recommend people read that book a few times to really absorb it. But, you know, if you're on this path, let's say as an example, I'll give you an example. So somebody learns how to market on the internet and they finally get to their breakthrough and then they have a $5,000 day, okay? Now, if they've been used to making $5,000 a month and now they're making $5,000 in a day, their subconscious mind is now going to kind of look at it and calculate it, And there's a couple things that can potentially happen. Their subconscious mind's now going to look at 30 times 5,000 and go, holy crap, right? That's 150 grand, right? Now, another part of their subconscious mind is going to go, oh, I already worked a whole month, so I'm going to take the rest of the month off. Okay, so until they grow now internally with their own beliefs that they actually could make the 150 grand, right? So I had something that happened to me actually yesterday. It's kind of ironic that this happens, that what you're talking about this. And I made over $8,000 yesterday. And somebody posted on my wall, oh, I guess you can take the rest of the month off, right? And I put, take the rest of the month off, that would be called self-sabotage. And they said, oh, good point, right? So, you know, when the bigger numbers start coming in, you have to work on your thoughts, right? And don't think that, you know, we all don't go through this, right? Don't think I'm immune, right? So, you know, about a week and a half ago or so, I had a $17,000 day online. Don't think that I have to just look at the numbers like they're numbers and don't get emotionally connected in any way, and then be able to scale it up even further so that I can, you know, have a big month. Like this month, I set an intention to do 100,000 and I did 110,000 for the month, right? But can a person consistently can carry that along the path? I don't know. That's the question. You know, if you can't get a hold of this, no, you can't. No, you can't. In fact, a person could go 110 and then sabotage after that and make virtually no money the next month. It's very possible. So you have to maintain that personal development is a daily activity, and you're never going to eliminate the human condition. It's never going away. It will always come back. It'll always come back to haunt you, right? So what you've got to do is you have to start to have boundaries where you slowly phase out anybody in your life who's negative. You've got to stop watching television. Any type of news networks, you got to eliminate those. Any type of magazines, gossip, you've got to completely eliminate that, okay? And anybody who is in a higher income level, those are the people that you want to be hanging out with, because they carry a certain frequency, a certain vibrational resonance to them. And you want to be hanging out with those people, okay? Because they will actually motivate and inspire you to keep going to a higher level. So, you know, if I have a, say, $110,000 month, but I'm hanging out with guys that make $200,000 in a month or $300,000 in a month, I'm still a little guppy, right? Right? I still have ways to go to get to the level of the people that I'm hanging out with, right? So, you know, it's very important to be very aware of your associations of who you are hanging out with, because you'll become the average of the 5 people that you hang out with, plus or minus 10 grand, right? A lot of people don't know that, right? So the thing to really understand about this is it's an ongoing process. It doesn't go away, right? We all battle the human condition. It's not going away anytime soon. Trust me. Will you get better? Yes, you'll get better. Will you get better at loving yourself? Yes, hopefully, if you continue on with personal development. Is it possible to be here and then sabotage and go back down to here? Yes, it is. That's why life is this roller coaster of ups and downs and ups and downs, and somebody can be at the peak of their game, and if they step into their ego in a big way and they're not a humble servant leader, back down to the bottom again, and they have to start all over again in the game. And that sucks. That sucks, right? But a lot of times that's a big wake-up call. It's a big wake-up call for them to, take a closer look at how they are interacting and behaving with other people. But very important to set your boundaries, very important to be around a higher successful group of people than yourself. Can money buy happiness? Money can buy you freedom, and I believe that freedom is happiness. So, you know, it's a really interesting thing, because you have to have some foundational things in place, like self-love. Okay, so in the event that you have self-love, and that you're on the path of being a humble servant leader, then absolutely, I would say yes, money can buy you happiness, 100%. Right now, if you don't believe that, then you need to take a Bentley out for a test drive, and see what you feel like when you're driving the Bentley. So see what it feels like when you're riding first class versus riding in the cattle call section. I can tell you that it feels a lot better, right, riding in first class. So does it make me happier riding in first class? Absolutely.
Hell yeah!
So when I went to the Philippines, to be able to just pick up, and I bought a first class ticket, and I went to Manila for 2 months, and I just stayed there for 2 months and worked my business from there. So would I have been able to do that if I didn't have the money? No. Did that trip make me happy? Absolutely it did, right? So, if you don't have internal happiness to start, right, more money is not going to change that, because you're depressed, right? You don't have a spirit of enjoying life, okay? Now, if I go to a hotel, would I prefer to have a suite versus having a little tiny room? I'd prefer to have the suite, right? Would the suite make me happier than the little room? Yes, it would, right? So it's really all in how you sort of think about these concepts. Now, did it make me happy when I went down to the Porsche dealership and bought a brand new Porsche? Absolutely it did, right? So, did it make me happy to get a tailor to custom make me a suit versus buying one off the rack? Absolutely, right? So, but could I be happy if I didn't have it? Yes, I could, right? So you have to be a millionaire in your mind long before it will ever show up in your bank account. So you have to trick your subconscious mind to believe, even when you don't have the Bentley or the trips or whatever, that you already have the happiness, but your body, your physiology in your body is already walking around in the physiology of the millionaire. Okay, so I believe that money helps to amplify what's over here. So if you're depressed over here, you're still going to be depressed over here, right? In fact, you're probably more depressed because you'll feel guilty for the money, and you won't feel worthy or deserving of the money. And you'll self-sabotage over here, okay? So if you're an alcoholic over here, you're going to be a really bad alcoholic over here. If you're a drug addict over here, you're going to probably die over here. You probably kill yourself over here, okay? So it all has to do with self-worth, right? It all has to do with self-worth. But if you have the self-worth over here, and you're grateful for the things that you have while you're pursuing the things that you desire, they happen a lot faster. They can 10x in their quickness. Okay, so now between here and here, there's a pocket in between of emotions. So when the money starts flowing in, then the tears start flowing too, right? And Jennifer, I'm sure that you can attest to that just from the stuff that you guys have gone through in your evolution. But you've got to be happy without the money to be happy with the money, right? If that makes any sense.
Absolutely,
that makes
sense.
a lot of sense.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm pretty sure it's gonna make a lot of sense to everyone watching as well.
Yes.
Next question.
Next question. That was awesome. Oh my God, I'm here like taking notes. I love it.
I know.
And okay, so next question. So this is from Sandra and Lou. If when you leave this earth, how do you want to be remembered by?
For me, I've got a passion for quantum physics. I have a passion for helping people to create their own reality. And that's really the core of everything that I teach. It really, we're so powerful as human beings that people, they don't realize it unless they're on the path of personal development. For me, the first time I walked on fire in bare feet, and I walked on broken glass in bare feet, and I never got cut, I never got burnt. The first time that I broke an arrow against my throat or broke through a board, you really realize how powerful that we are. And a lot of stuff people don't even realize. There's stories of women that their child was stuck underneath a car, and they weren't even thinking about it. They weren't in their head, and they picked the car up to get their kid out, right? Documented stories like that. There's documented stories of people taking tumors and shrinking the tumor down in minutes, right? And curing themselves of cancer. When I was working for Dr. Lee Poulos, he was actually curing stage 4 cancer patients that were told they only had 3 months to live, right? So we have amazing abilities, and that's the core of everything that I do, is to help people to step into their personal power. So if I was going to be remembered by anything, it would be that, is a person that can give somebody the tools that they need to, doesn't matter where they're at. I mean, heck, we've had people that were homeless, and 6 months later, they made $20,000 in a month. 3 years later, the CEO of their own network marketing company. So that's all about personal transformation. Personal transformation from where you are to the best version of yourself, right? And that's really what the stories are of so many of my students, that, doesn't matter how down the rabbit hole they are, doesn't matter how bad they are financially, doesn't matter what's going on in their life. The moment that they learn these tools, the moment they learn these strategies, they can become the best version of themselves. They can go on and write books, be public speakers, be coaches and mentors. And that, if there's anything, that would be it, is somebody that really helps people to transform into the best version of themselves.
Awesome.
I was about to cry because, I'm always crying, but that just got me teary-eyed because I didn't know anything about quantum physics until I got, your coaching and your mentoring. So I feel like that saying that you're saying that that's what you want to be remembered by, that's already in my life from me to you. Like, that's how I see you, because you have wakened me up. That's how I feel. Like, you have been a part to give me those tools, to give me the teachings into waking up and learning about the quantum physics and how to really step into my power. So you're already doing that, Darren. Just wanted to share that before Jose asks the next question.
Awesome, awesome. But Darren, everything's just super amazing here, So, let's talk about Black Ops Underground Marketing real quick, okay? So you started this last year. We actually just came onto our anniversary month, our 1-year anniversary out. I think we're almost 1,400 members in, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And over $1.4 million in paid out commissions. I've
never seen that ever.
With no paid advertisings. And that's our first year. So what can we expect? What's next for Black Ops? Like, where do you see this whole thing going? Because I mean, I'm super excited to be a part of it, and I just wanted your thoughts on it.
Okay. So basically what we found was that we were getting a lot of interest from people in network marketing and affiliate marketing, direct sales, from a variety of different companies. Okay, so people have this sort of illusion in their mind that if they're with say a weight loss company, that joining Black Ops means they're joining another company. It's not like that. Okay, so if they're in their weight loss company, our goal is to get them to the top of the leaderboards in their company that they're already in, right? By learning the Millionaire mentoring in Black Ops. Okay, so it's really, I believe that it should be basic training for anybody that wants to get into our industry. Okay, so what's going to be happening is that Black Ops is actually going to create a vault, right, where people can get a monthly membership to Black Ops, okay, and that's going to help them in whatever they're marketing. Doesn't matter what they market. In fact, we have realtors, mortgage brokers, insurance agents that have applied our strategies and been able to 10x their income. I've got people that send me testimonials saying, Darren, I implemented your strategies and I closed the $2 million deal. Darren, I implemented your strategies and I upgraded my car to a BMW with no charge. Darren, I implemented your strategies and I made $55,000 in real estate commissions. So we want to really make Black Ops so that it can be used industry-wide for any industry, anything that you're marketing if you're an entrepreneur. We can teach you how to not only market it, but to generate more business, more income, more leads, right? And be able to generate multiple income streams once you learn all of that. So there'll be a monthly membership. Then we're going to put people, they're going to go through a series of, they can either take the offer or not. If they take the offer, they can make commissions off of it. If they don't take the offer, then that particular thing they won't get commissions on. But there'll be speed recruiting, there'll be subconscious mind tapping, there'll be 10x unstoppable minds, and then there'll be a bigger area where people can actually sell the live coaching part and make 50% commissions off of that. So it's going to pay out 50% commissions to the people that market it. So that alone is going to create a huge amount of cash flow for people, because now it's an independent thing. It's just Black Ops, right, as an actual affiliate program that they can actually market. And then inside of it, they're going to be able to add whatever primary businesses that they're currently marketing as their featured companies that they want to be able to promote, right? And keep in mind, everybody's going to be different, right? Some people may be doing skincare products or nutraceuticals or energy drinks, whatever, and they can actually use Black Ops as a foundation and also make money from it. And then they can also use it on the front end, and then their primary business will be on the back end. So we got some really phenomenal things happening right now. The vault's just being worked on right now. Ari and I saw the evolution of how it's coming along. But we want it to be as automated as possible for the people so that it really can create income for them while they're sleeping, right? So, and Ari's very good at putting those type of, sales videos and things like that together so that they're very easy entry for people to get into. We'll also be doing merchandise. You can see right here from our stealth fighter jet. And we've got jackets and shirts and caps, and that will be an online store for merchandise. And I can tell you that I test market everything that I do, guys. Everything, including this, okay, including this. And we actually had people say, I want to buy a cap, where I want a jacket, that weren't even in Black Ops, right? So, you know, I always let the market tell me whether or not it's got cool factor or not. I let the market tell me whether it's a good opportunity or not, right? Versus me saying, I got this greatest opportunity in the world. I do a little test, I see what sort of response that I get, and then I go further and I spend more money. So the Black Ops Vault for the merchandise got huge response, so that will be moving forward. We will also be doing live events. And that's when the real fun starts, guys. That's when the real fun starts, because I believe that that's really what our industry is about. It's about relationships. And online marketing, this is sort of the bridge between meeting somebody or going to an event or going to a home party or something like that, and online, because this is like having a coffee with somebody, right? But it's not the same as being able to give somebody a hug, truthfully.
We want to hug you. That is so true. So next year's the event.
Yep.
We're looking forward to it. We're excited about everything that's going on.
Absolutely.
I'm getting definitely a hat for Jose. I'm excited about the merchandise. And that was a good question, babe. I didn't even see that. We kind of didn't tell each other our questions, so it could be like kind of suspense. But okay, that's awesome. I love that. Okay, one question I have before we wrap it up. We're about to wrap this up. I know that last week you had your biggest income week. I think it was, how much? You want to share that? I want you to share how much was your biggest week, how long it took you to make that money, and how did you feel?
I felt like honestly, it still feels surreal. I mean, I had a $17,000 day in 24 hours. I made almost $40,000. It was like 39,500 or something like that. And the biggest month that I ever had was just over 165,000 in 1 month. And even when I talk about it, you know, a lot of people think that when you get to a certain point that it doesn't have the same amount of impact on you or something. It's not true. You know, every time I hit a milestone, every time I hit another breakthrough, literally, I'm telling you, it's like Christmas. I mean, I feel like, you know, this rush of energy through me, and gratitude, right? And I have this chant that I do that that, you know, it's the gratitude chant, and it's gratitude. I'm so grateful. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you. And then I get these rushes of energy that go through my body, right? But, you know, it's the biggest week I've ever had. You know, it was 39.5 or something like that. And when the bigger numbers start to happen, this gateway opens and your vibrational frequency increases to a higher, let's like taking a step, right? And then you take another step. And then you take another step. So you're laying down, I call it tracks in the matrix. So you're laying down foundational tracks to be able to springboard off of to get to a higher level. So now here's the interesting thing. Once I hit the 39.5, okay, it recalibrated my vibration, okay? And I just actually had somebody reach out to me today saying that they wanted to commit to one full year of Millionaire mentoring, right? So what happens in this process? A lot of people don't understand this, and they don't look at it as a stepping stones, okay? So 1 year of Millionaire mentoring is $40,000, right? So now, that came in right after I had the 39.5 week. It's very interesting how this works. A lot of people, they don't understand this from a standpoint of vibrational frequency, your own energy, what you're broadcasting out to. Now, isn't it interesting how the numbers are almost identical, right? So 39K, 39.5 happened in a week, and then right after that, a 40,000 came, a $40,000 potential. It's not closed yet, potential, right? Now, in the event that I was to close that, right, I would pretty much be on my target goal. My target goal is to be able to have a $50,000 day. Okay, now, in the event that that happens, which I'm going to manifest into action, that would be the result of an intention that I set 1 year ago. Think about that. So 1 year ago when I started Black Ops, I set an intention to be able to have a $50,000 day, but I kept on that intention. I still believe that it's possible to be able to do that. Now, once I have a $50,000 day, right, then I can have a $100,000 day, because that's only 2 transactions in a day. See how that works? So you're putting down foundational data for the matrix to run, right? Now, when I first started in online, I set really achievable goals. So my first goal was to make $50 for 3 days in a row. My subconscious mind goes, oh yeah, I could do that, right? So I did it right away. And then it was $100 3 days in a row, right? Then 200 3 days in a row, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, then 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 3 days in a row. Now, if you were to do $5,000 3 days in a row, you're probably going to have like $15,000 or $20,000 a month, right? 5,000 3 days in a row, right? Your baseline is going to be 15,000, right? You could have a $30,000, $40,000 month that month, right? So what people don't realize is that $100 3 days in a row will probably take you to $3,000, right? But it's completing the little milestone. So if I went 100, 50, 50, 75, 100, that didn't count. It's 100 3 days in a row. I hit that, boom, now I'm going to elevate it to 200 3 days in a row. So if you do the same type of thing and you have data, so once I was consistently at, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, and then I went 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, it recalibrates. It recalibrates your body. It recalibrates your vibration. And now it becomes a lot easier, okay? Now, don't think that once it happens that you can't possibly slide back with the human condition, because you can, okay? So the personal development is ongoing. The intention is ongoing. So here's an example. Let's say you set an intention to make 10 grand this month, and you do it. If you don't set a new intention, the next month, you might make nothing. You might make only 2 grand because you didn't have the intention. You didn't reset your intention for 15,000 the next month or 20,000 the next month, right? So there's no tracks. There's no tracks to run on, right? So you're not using the whole powers of the universe in order for your advantage, right? And that's all quantum physics. If you have no intention, you have no destination. And that's what people don't realize. So they all want to make 10,000. Well, boom, it just comes out of thin air. Wham, they make 10 grand. And then their income goes flat after that. Why is that? Because they don't have any new intention. So you have to keep on doing this process. It's not like a one-time shot and then boom, you're good, right? It's an ongoing process, and you have to be very aware of what's going on in here. What are you speaking into the reality? What are you writing into the reality? And how do you feel? What's the emotional connection that you have to whatever it is that you want? Because if you're not connected to what you want, you're going to get whatever you don't want, right?
Awesome, man. That was great stuff. I really, really appreciate it.
I have the wrap it up question. So this is the finale for our people watching and watching the replay. Anybody that, you know, is kind of on the fence about Black Ops, or, you know, I don't have the money, or I don't know if this is for me, or I don't know, what would you tell them that they are going to see inside of Black Ops? So what advice would you give them?
Well, the first thing that I would say to those people is that, you know, until you stop playing the victim, your life will never change. You got to take charge. You got to draw a line in the sand. You got to say, that's where I'm going, and nobody's going to stop me. You have to get emotional about it. But I tell them the same thing that my millionaire mentor told me. If you're not prepared to surrender your pride, and you're not prepared to surrender your ego, okay, and go get the money, you're never going to make it in this industry anyway, because who the heck would ever follow you? Who the heck would ever follow you, okay? What my mentor said to me is that he said, Darren, you have to step into your personal power if you're going to rise to the top and become a millionaire. So if you don't even have the power to go get $1,200 or whatever, who the heck would ever want to follow you? Think about it. So you have to get to that point, that breaking point, where you're prepared to go all in on your dream, okay? All in on your dream, just like I did, right? I don't tell people to do anything that I never did myself, okay? And I went, when I say all in, right down to 0.00 in my bank account. But my very first month in business, I did $40,000 in sales from nothing, okay? So I made all my money back my first month because I was coachable. I listened, right? I didn't say, well, thanks a lot for those great tips there, millionaire mentor, but I got a better way. You better watch me go, right? I never did that. I listened to what he told me. So when somebody gives me their excuses, all I hear is wah, 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 wah from Charlie Brown. Seriously, that's all I hear. So, you know, you've got to get to that breaking point and you've got to go all in. Now, as far as what they're going to get in Black Ops, we do real millionaire mentoring, okay? It's no fluff. It's no big thing that we say that we're going to do and then we don't do. We do a lot of live interactive group calls like this, except they would have more people on them. But you do get an opportunity to interact during that process and ask questions. And we share our screen. We do live recruiting, so you can actually watch us make sales. We provide all of the content, the emails, the graphics that we use. It's like us taking our campaign and handing it to you on a silver platter. That's why we have the success stories that we have. 17-year-old kid made 35 grand his first month, right? Some people that have never, ever had success before. We had a 23-year-old kid. He was a construction worker. First month, he made 26 grand, right? Moms with kids, 10 grand the first month. Engineer, part-time, 13,000 his first month. Heck, we even had a guy that just got out of prison and he made 28,500 his first month. Why? Because they were coachable. Now, a lot of people that start, they don't have the money either. How about that? But somehow, some way, they stepped into their power and they went and got the money. So that's what I would put out to you. If you want to be able to build a business without harassing your friends and family, never get rejected ever again, learn how to generate unlimited leads for any business, close and upsell to higher ticket products, and get explosive team duplication. Raise the money, 10 grand a month for your marketing campaign for whatever it is that you're doing, or raise the money for your high ticket products all the way up to 100 grand. I was able to do that in 30 days. Why not you? Just throw your hat over the wall and take action.
Awesome, Darren. Awesome. Wow, that was an amazing interview. We really, really, really appreciate your time. To the viewers that are watching, everybody's watching, there it is, firsthand, you know, the glimpse inside our Black Ops Underground operation from the creator himself of it. And just to show you how Darren is, Darren promised us 20 minutes here, and now it's been probably going on
45 minutes.
Maybe 45 minutes to an hour. That's always, he always, you know, promises but always over delivers, guys. And that's what I feel like Black Ops Underground brings to the market. You know, I knew when I was getting in it, I was really excited about it, of what I found, and it has exceeded my expectations by a lot. We're
super proud to be here.
Absolutely. And
so guys, before we wrap up here, I was just going to say, why don't you share what happened for you?
Yes.
I want that. Sure.
That's exactly where I was getting. I mean, and this, guys, this is the, you know, we've been with Darren since late fall, last year. We hopped on Black Ops Underground. And, you know, it really took off for us when our backs were to the wall. When we first got involved, we were still involved in another opportunity, a network marketing company that was not
we're struggling.
Yeah, it was not going great for us at all. We were struggling. I mean, we even got to the point where we were facing eviction, and we went 2 days without water, guys. And we reached out to Darren. Actually, Jennifer reached out to Darren. Darren called us, spent about, you know, I thought he was going to spend maybe 5 minutes with us, spent actually about an hour and a half with us that day, and just showed some tough love, you know. He gave us a 10-day game plan, a timeline, which we executed perfectly. At the end of those 10 days, within 4 days' time, we had our first income explosion online, which was of $5,400. And then since then till now, we're about $30,000 in profits with Black Ops. And now we also have 4 different other income streams.
Yeah, so we implemented, you know, everything we've been learning in Black Ops that you've taught us to get to where we want to be with Black Ops, to make the front end income that we talk about, that front end ATM. And we also been able to apply, you know, that money into other opportunities and grow our network and grow our income. And that's all what we have learned from you guys, everything that we've learned from you guys. And I try not to get emotional every time we share our story, but it, you know, that's what it is. That's what it was, is the truth. You know, you taught us to bear our naked soul, to be humble, to share our story, and, you know, that way we can inspire people. And in the beginning, we was not okay with sharing our story, but you told us that you have to share your story. And here we are. You know, it's been a couple months since, you know, it hasn't even been a year. It has been a couple months since that journey, and I am forever grateful, forever thankful. I mean, the whole Black Ops operation could shut down today, and I'm still grateful and thankful, and I will forever be grateful. And I say this to even my friends that are not in this industry, like, guys, you have no idea what you learn here. You can apply it in your family, in your life, in your relationship, in your business, in your jobs. I mean, everywhere. So it's definitely been special for us. And, you know, this past week, I actually messaged Darren. I was telling you, Darren, I know that you probably get a million messages, but I was telling you how happy and how humbled and grateful I was, because now we are doing the same for our people. Like, we just had, you know, our the Fullers, they're probably watching on this call, they have a martial arts school. They also do this on the side. They do a couple of online stuff on the side. And she just made her first profit, $1,000, on her way to her vacation right here to Florida, like this week. And today she's making another $1,000. I just helped her, you know, wrap up another sale. And it overwhelms me of joy, you know, when someone tells me, because of you, I'm able to provide for my family. Because of you, you know, I can do X, Y, and Z because of you. So that same feeling that you felt, Darren, you know, when we were telling you how grateful and thankful we were, that's the same feeling we have now, because, you know, you taught us to create ripple effects in the world. And that exactly was happening in our organization, based on the stuff and the strategies and the foundation skills that you've been teaching us here. So I am forever grateful, forever thankful. I know our team is forever grateful, and the 1,400 people that we have inside Black Ops. And I feel like this is just the beginning. Like, we just hit, you know, the 1 year anniversary, guys. This is just the beginning. We are gonna take this to the roof. I can't wait to see you guys as well. Hug you guys, and thank you. Anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, that's it. I think you said it all. I mean, it's been an amazing interview. We appreciate your time, Darren. For all of you guys out there watching, this is what we do. And
see you on the inside, guys. See you on the inside. Thank you, Darren.